Hello and welcome to another video from Fantasy Football Scouts. This week we're continuing with our series of team reveals. Yes, the teams will change by the time game week 1 comes around, we know that, but this gives a useful insight into some of the key players and strategies to consider. My name is Joe and today I'm joined by Chris to discuss his early game week 1 draft for the 2021-22 season. Chris, how are you?
Yeah, not so bad actually. I'm not so bad. I've got my team my shirt on, my scout shirt on.
Yep.
Yeah, not so bad. I was just saying to you before. This is about my fourth draft now. I did one pre prices actually. I spent a bit of time on it then, and then using the live FPL planner. And then when it came out, I unfortunately the prices weren't massively wrong, but were wrong just enough that I had to sort of rethink my strategy a little bit. So,
okay.
But yeah.
Well, I mean, without a further ado, we'll reveal your team. Let's have a look. Here we go. There it is. So people will notice something. So what we do with these is we'll go through each player and the sort of strategies you're considering. But first of all, there's sometimes a theme emerges, and what we'll do is we'll look at that particular theme with this one. And this one, I guess, big at the back. 4-3-3. What is it? What's your rationale here? There's a lot of defenders here, and there's
a lot of defenders, isn't there? Yeah, there was more. When I was doing it earlier, I had Stones in as well, and I couldn't make that work. I think a lot of it so far has been formed by fixtures and trying to get in certain teams and looking at who I really want in those teams. And the problem I have, like with United, for instance, you want to get United in, got to have Fernandes right. And assuming we get Fernandes of last season's FPL, not Fernandes of the Euros, then we're he's a nailed on a pick. But then who else do you get? All these are very exciting options. Sancho coming in. You've got all these. You've got so many Rashford. You've got where'd you go? Where Cavani's not going to play enough. To me, you've got to get. If you want to get a good United coverage, they've got good starting fixtures. You've got to get a defender, and it's either Shaw or Maguire. And for me, Shaw edges it. Maguire might play every game, but Shaw will play most. And if he can bring any of that form for the Euros into United, because and he did in parts last season. I think he could have a huge season. So I've got to go Shaw. Then TAA, you've got to have Liverpool defender, right? So that's two. That's already for me. That's two chunky things gone in there. And then going against to Everton, like Everton again, looking at the fixtures, I've got a big. So I've kind of got that's the thinking me. It's more about fitting the teams. I'm thinking Everton fixtures look great, but again, as an Everton fan, I don't trust most of the team, to be honest.
Well, let's put those fixtures up. This is the season ticker from Fantasy Football Scout, and then looking at Everton there, just to remind people what the fixtures are. They've got Southampton at home to start, and they've got fans back at home. So the Z Cars music blaring out, thousands of people. Yeah, that should be good. Then they've got Leeds, Brighton away, then Burnley, Villa, Norwich. This is a sea of blue, isn't it? Manchester United is the poor one, and then West Ham.
Yeah.
So, reason.
If it were anyone else apart from Everton, it would be a guaranteed haul of points in the first 5 or 6 games there. But yeah, no, I think I think they've got a good. If you can't back them, then when are you going to back them, right? And it's a new manager, and I have a sense we were pretty tight at the back most of last year, to be honest. We weren't getting hammered. We just kind of conceded on. So, and Pickford's in decent form. It was great in the Euros. I think didn't he have the most clean sheets? Yeah. So did he win the Golden Glove? I think he won the Golden Glove. It was Italy keeper.
I don't know.
I don't know. I should know that. Shouldn't I? I'm just so used to it. It was Pickford. I'm so used to Pickford.
The golden FPL glove would have been won by Martinez.
Yes, of course. But I'm just thinking Euros is most recent form. Right? But
the real life football and the Euros and Pickford. I guess he is, because they concede.
I don't know who he had
to concede.
He looked decent, I thought. So I fancy us to be quite tight defensive. I don't think Benitez is going to be playing, progressive attacking football all the time. It's be a bit more defense, and we've got a decent, defense. Okay. We've got some good defensive midfielders. It's the attacking thing which is a bit more limited.
So he's with Shaw at the moment. His rumours are that seems to be a lot of reports that he was playing through the latter stages of the Euros with some broken ribs.
Right.
And
not done the team news.
And also Italy and England obviously gone to the final. So their chances are they'll be late back, probably the week or so before. Chances are that should be fine if they're fit and healthy, but if they're not fit and healthy, so say the news comes in that Shaw, it just he's not going to be ready until say game week 2 or 3. Do you still keep him in? I mean, you've got, looking at your team structure there, most weeks you would say you've got a sort of a 4-3-3. What's he got? 5-3-2, 4-4-2 sort of arrangement.
Yeah.
So there you've got Gundogan, who is, I would say, a good first sub. So are you comfortable with that? Comfortable with?
Would I be comfortable with that? I mean, it depends. Yeah, if it came back and it looked likely, obviously we're gonna have plenty of time to find this out. If it looked likely he was gonna, it was unfit and gonna miss more than one or two matches, then yeah, I would switch that up. I'd switch that up. I'd either go to another United option or I'd go to City. But if I thought it was only be 1 or 2 games, I might just hold. I don't know. I might just hold. I'm more interested in owning Shaw over the season than I am in owning Maguire, for instance. So why? I know Maguire gets goals and he's a great defender and everything, but I don't know. I just find attacking the wing backs.
Okay, so in this arrangement as well, you've got Meslier and Sanchez from Brighton, so that's a good rotation. Another good rotation is Sanchez and Schmeichel. I also personally quite like Sanchez and Bachmann from Watford, even though it doesn't look on. If you look at the fixture ticker, it just looks to me like there's save point potential and nice sort of home and away, and Watford are quite defensive, so that's another one to consider. But yeah, Meslier, I mean, I can't argue with that. Meslier and Sanchez is a good combo, isn't it?
I think so. I mean, again, Meslier could change. I think that's at the moment. That was exactly as you say, driven by the fixture ticker. Looking at the fixture ticker, going right. Well, Brighton look great, although they're losing players at the moment, so we might have to revisit that. But then, yeah, who comes in when they've got the tougher looking games? And yeah, that Leeds Meslier seems to be the obvious one. But yeah, as you say, Leicester's also not a bad shout, and Schmeichel. It could easily be Schmeichel in instead.
So looking out across that back line as well, Ben White's there for Brighton, but he's soon to be of Arsenal.
Yes, and everyone knows the Arsenal defence is legendary brilliant, right? So.
Well, no, they've got good fixtures from game week 4. I was going to say game weeks 1 to 3 are a bit patchy. In game week 4, it suddenly becomes, the fixtures turn massively away from, say, Villa and toward. Let's put those fixtures back up again. You can see here they move away from Villa and they move much towards Wolves, for example. Game week 4, they've got Watford, Brentford, Southampton, Newcastle, and Villa. And looking down as well, Arsenal's fixtures, massive improvement. So they've got Chelsea and Man City within their first 3. And then you've got Norwich, Burnley, Tottenham. Tottenham, obviously, it's a derby, so you don't know what's going to happen there. Brighton and Crystal Palace. So these are good fixtures. So it'd be worthwhile.
They've also got Brentford first. I mean, I'll probably play them against Brentford. I mean, this is likely because I don't. I've also got Tony. Brentford could do really well, but it could be a really cagey game. Who knows? I think you're paying 50 million, allegedly, rumouredly. I don't think it's finalised yet, but you're not gonna not play him, right? And he's obviously a decent option. Everton looking at a lot of the players, clubs are looking at him. Yeah, I think for me, having one little bit into that Arsenal thing, as you said, there's the fixtures change from forums. I'm
okay. So it's a sort of
and he's only 4.5, so I can kind of rotate him.
Yeah.
I'm not going to feel bad at leaving him on the bench either.
No. So it's a sort of a 5-3-2 and 4-4-2. So in your midfield, let's turn to the midfield. You've already mentioned Fernandes being we think still the best Manchester United option, certainly captainable. Salah, I don't think there's much point dwelling on that. He's got great fixtures.
Is it not a differential pick I've gone for? Am I the only one that's gone Salah?
He's got 50% ownership. Virtually all of them will captain him. So I think we'll be looking at somewhere around 100% effective ownership. He's just a must, not just because of those reasons, because he's good. He's been good for a number of seasons. But it's the other ones I'm interested in. So you've got this option of 4. You've got Basuma there as your sort of non-playing well, he's playing, but he's not
Playing, but hopefully not playing for you.
not scoring.
Yeah.
He might get
He
a world.
scored against Everton. His one goal came against flipping Everton.
You might get his one worldie a season.
It was a cracking goal. Yeah.
And then everyone will get on him there. But it's the other two I'm interested in: Buendia and Gundogan.
Yeah.
So why Buendia?
Why Buendia? Because I can't afford Grealish. How's
Okay.
that? No, I think Villa again great. Going to fixtures, Villa have got great, great starting fixtures, and I think they've got a really decent side and that they're improving. Obviously, there is rumours of Grealish moving on to City. I would find that I could see why he might be interested, but I think that would be a bad step for Grealish because I just think he's obviously City are more likely to win things, but right now he's the hero. He's getting guaranteed game time at City. He's going to be part of the rotation. Pep Roulette. So I reckon I don't see that. I see Kane going to City much stronger than Grealish going to City, but we'll see. And Buendia was really good previous for Norwich. I think he's a bit more of a punt because we haven't seen him sort of playing that way. He's going to play in that Villa side and how it's going to fit in. We obviously it was a friendly of the day, which is now pre-season thing, and he seems to be okay. So. He's my way into Villa. If I jinx things around, I can get Grealish. Then I would probably go Grealish, ideally. But he's my kind of backup to Grealish, I guess.
Interesting in the pre-season match this week against I'm not quite sure who, but do check on Fantasy Football Scout.
You're not watching all the pre-season matches.
It was someone basically. I'm going to be a bit disparaging. It was against someone rubbish, but it was one of those really early pre-season ones. So there were some preventable goals there, but nevertheless, Ollie Watkins scored twice. But it was Buendia who assisted him. It was Buendia who was hovering over the free kicks and on other set pieces, and it was something he did with Norwich. He's been in my side since the start, since the game launched. I just did a quick draft. Buendia just came in because I just thought he looked that value, and I think Grealish, if he is still at Villa, I'm not sure he's going to play game week 1, or I'm not sure he's going to be as electric as his massive calves can be in game week 1 because he's just like all England and Italy players. But yeah, Buendia I think is a great option, and I'm only expecting I only want him for 3 games and then move him on.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I think it's one of those players. You just see how it goes the first 2 or 3, and then you keep him, you don't. And at 6, it's just such an enabler for trying to keep strength elsewhere. And yeah, as you say, I think actually Grealish does. I think it'd be even better for him. I mean, he's going to Grealish has a skill of drawing players towards him, which is it creates because he's running with the ball. Whatever, it'll create a lot of more space for the others. So
Gundogan is your other key.
I love Gundogan. I can't. He was my last year best finish ever. Gundogan was one of my heroes. This is a loyalty pick above everything else. I think this is a loyalty pick. But yeah, can it be the same Gundogan again? I don't know. It depends what the lineup's going to be and what's going to change and who they're going to bring in. But
yeah,
it was pretty. It was slightly more expensive, but it was pretty bloody amazing for the value for price last year. And this is my way in. This is my kind of my finger in the City pie, so to speak. This is my way of getting. I would love to have more City. I would love to have like De Bruyne or whatever. I've seen a lot of people. City seem to be kind of almost like put on the side with a lot of teams. And I kind of think because they're playing against Spurs first.
Well, they're team in flux, aren't they? Pep Roulette's already something we have to worry about every week, and so the rumours are that Kane will be joining them.
That'll happen. I will. I think that's going to happen.
It seems it seems likely he will move, but probably not ready for game week 1. And then there's Mahrez still around, and Gundogan, and then you've got their defenders as well. One of the earlier team reveals we had with Karam, he favoured Mahrez, Gianni favoured Mahrez, and Karam actually had Cancelo as well. So there are options.
Well, Cancelo's a great pick. I mean, I had Stones in an earlier draft, like I said. I think Cancelo's a great pick. I think defence is, but I mean, you can get a lot of game time out of defenders. Mahrez is just such a terrible pick. I can't. I mean, like that's so Gianni. Gianni started wild card from. He started differential from game. Like when's he going to play? It's the strength of the midfield. He will come in, but I'd say Gundogan is 3 or 4 times more likely to start each match than Mahrez is. So why have him in the team?
What I like about Mahrez isn't his name; it's his price, and that's what I was saying to Gianni. He's also in Karim's team, is that he's 9 million. So say I want Son, I've got to find $1 million somewhere. That's easy, but finding $1 million from Buendia or Rafinha, finding 3.5 million, 4 million is difficult. Say I wanted, it's just that sort of cash cow. He's a
what you're saying
friend.
Is you like him because you could easily remove him from your team.
Yeah, well that's it. I start with the premise.
That's the attraction.
I start with the premise. I'm wrong. How can I run away from this lot? So every player I have, I think, right, if I'm wrong, who do I go to? And so I think with Buendia as well, worth pointing out that going back to those Arsenal fixtures, game week 4, you've got the likes of Smith Rowe as well. You've got to find 0.5 more for Saka. So they've got loads of options. And Leeds as well.
I think Smith Rowe could be huge this year. I mean, he's got a new contract as well. It depends also again where else they sign. But I think if he's given a bit of attacking license again, I think he could be. It could be huge. He looked really great when he was given the game time.
Okay, so
they're committed to him. So
let's move to your forward line as well. So you've got
that's the impressive stuff, isn't it? You want to go to the big guns.
You've got all the Tonys. You've got Antonio and Tony.
I couldn't find someone else called Tony.
And you've got one of Watford's 1,000 strikers, Pedro. As your 4.5.
I'd say that Pedro is probably the most changeable. If I had the money type character.
The main downside is he hasn't changed his name to Tony Pedro, which would be even better. So Antonio and Tony. Why?
Antonio, because I think West Ham have a decent fixture run. I think he's a great striker if he's fit. Okay, which is a question always, but if he's fit, and West Ham are giving him ammunition, he's going to score points, and he's one of those players that's capable of big hauls. Like if you compare, like I'm an Everton fan, I should have DCL in there if I was going to go according to, but I just don't see DCL. I could be proven wrong looking through the stat. I don't feel when I go into a match that he's going to get 2 or 3 goals or 2 or 3. I think he's capable of, but there's not even so much a value judgment on him. It's a value judgment on Everton's creative potential, probably. And so I just don't go into that going. He's going to score a ton. Well, I think Antonio. I always feel he can get a couple. I always feel he's got. It's like when you get the whole Jimenez thing, which will come back this year, where Jimenez, great striker. Given he'll usually get a goal a game, or given a shot, go a couple of games at least. And he was, but you would never put the armband on him because you'd never think he's going to come in with a hat trick, or he'll get a goal and Wolves win 1-0, whatever. I mean, maybe under the new management it'll be a whole different ball game. Maybe he'll have a different mentality. I don't know, coming back after injury, but yeah. So I don't know. So I think Antonio is just one of those players that I think can be explosive. If West Ham start badly, or he's going nowhere, I have no qualms in replacing him. But I can see, I can see against Newcastle, Palace, and Southampton, I can see serious goal opportunities there. Leicester maybe not so much, but we'll see. But so I think that's exciting, for me. And he's my premium pick at 7.5. Where's all the money? I spent the money, Joe. You spent the money
in the back. I can see where it is.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to get rid of Soufal. The problem is, unless I get rid of Alexander Arnold, which is the big change, I can't see myself at the back doing that. I could prune Dino. I could prune little bits, but I'd just be unhappy with the defence then, and I go, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
so Antonio. You've taken my point. You might not agree with it, but what do you think about Antonio?
Antonio, I'm fine with, but it's those two.
He's the one player you're fine with.
No. I'm fine with lots of these players. Lots of these players are on my side. But Antonio, it's those 2 words: if fit. If fit, he's got to be in everyone's team. He's fantastic. I'm going to look at pre-season. Did West Ham overachieve last season? I don't know. Antonio currently is basically their striker. And is I can't remember what the phrase Luke used in a video a while back, but it was like his legs are made of spaghetti or something like that. Basically,
spaghetti legs. Is it dry spaghetti? That's
dry
the
spaghetti. Yeah, they're snapping away. So yeah, he's currently in my side, but I quite like Callum Wilson, who is yet another injury-prone striker. But
and that's a great pick. I think Callum Wilson could be a really good differential pick.
And so why I like Antonio is prices again. So say Antonio, if you get to Thursday night, Friday day, find out that his legs have snapped, where'd you go? And you don't want to rip up your team. You just go, well, I'll just get Callum Wilson in, or just get Ollie Watkins in, and so on. Let's move to Tony. So, do we think he's going to be the next Pookie, or is he going to be the next Ebanks Blake?
I always think he's the next Pookie. That's why I'm putting. I don't know. I think he's the best punt of the promoted. I think you've got to punt on at least one or two of the promoted players, and I think he's the best punt. He's priced accordingly. I think he's the most expensive of the promoted players, if I'm right. I think most are like I think Pookie's 6. Who's actually got a track record of scoring in the Premier League. But and if you go through the teams, it's amazing. It's like you go, oh, he's 6, and then everyone's like 5, 4.5. It's just kind of it is the hunting ground for makeshift players, makeshift make weight players rather. But yeah, I think Tony. I mean, he's got a great track record. He's Brentford's the nearest football club to me. I might even go. I can go to some of his matches this year, the new ground, if I can get in. Yeah, I think Brentford are gonna have a run at it. I think my sense is they're going to be more, more kind of Leedsy and have a surprise a few people and have a run at them. And I think he's going to be in the goals if Brentford break through. And if you look at also the Brentford strikers of caps, if you look at Watkins, who's a chap that went
Neil Maupay. Well, Neil Maupay at Brighton.
Well, Maupay's not the best example, but
well, he's okay. But yeah,
no, he's okay. Yeah. But no, I mean,
Ben Rama, you mean?
West Ham, and he's been okay. Yeah, I mean, like they don't look. They haven't. The ones that have gone up haven't looked out of place. Maybe it takes a game or two, or a couple of them, but they seem to be, and he's the latest of that crop, and so I'm putting a punt on him.
I think
he's not cheap though. He's not like a Pedro. He's mid-price, I guess.
Brentford are very similar to Brighton in their model. The owner of Brentford used to work in the city. He then worked for the gambling company that Tony Bloom, the chairman at Brighton, runs. They work together, and then the Brentford owner has gone off, to do what he does with Brentford, but he's emulating that same thing. So there's that same sort of Moneyball tactics used. So for example, Brighton might be selling Ben White for a huge amount of money to Arsenal, and it goes on like that. Basuma is another one they've got there. So there's that model there. So if you're looking at that, I'm not necessarily saying in playing style, more so now when you've got Potter. But the previous playing style with Chris Hughton was very much defensive. But Brentford are very much gung-ho, off they go. They score, try and score. Their talisman is Tony. If you think they're going to score effectively in this division, whether they go up or down, if they think they're going to score, Tony is going to be involved. So he scored in pre-season already, as you would expect, once again, as I was saying, against rubbish opposition. But even Brownhill at Burnley has scored twice against the mighty Salford in pre-season. So you've got those options there. I've got another table to put up. This is from the Fantasy Football Scout members area. This is from last season, expected goal involvement. I quite always like this one. And this shows the value of Salah and Fernandes. It shows how, if Kane does move to City, why he might be under consideration. Vardy is still in the mix, a year older, but still in the mix. And then you've got, as you mentioned, Calvert-Lewin. And there's Bamford at Leeds as well, and Watkins. But it's Kane and Vardy I'm interested in, perhaps more so with Kane. So going back to your team.
Yeah.
How do you get Kane?
I've not got an easy route, have I?
How do you get
Kane?
How would you get Kane?
How do I do it? I mean, it's going to have to be some major surgery. It's going to be sacrificing Gundogan to an absolute make weight from somewhere, and then swapping out Antonio. I guess that's the way to do it. You're right. It's not as a flexible formation to go big up front. It's not ideal at the moment.
I don't think you can do that with Gundogan and Antonio. I think one of Salah or Fernandes has to go.
If I do it every week, if I well maybe Gundogan, Antonio, and another.
Another.
I won't. I will be unlikely to be sacrificing Salah and Fernandes to get Kane. I would if Kane goes to City. I guess there is a point at which all bets are off. Like,
Yeah.
if you're not going to back Kane in
Yeah.
front of that with that midfield and creativity around him, and the chances he's going to get. Like, if Kane got the chances that Jesus got,
I mean,
you know,
I'm sure
we're
lots
40 goals a season territory, aren't we? So.
I'm sure lots of people watching will have thought, "Oh, how do I get Kane in?" And they don't want to get rid of Salah, they want to get rid of Fernandes, and I'm very similar. And I've looked at that, and every time I have looked at that, I do not like my team. Salah, Kane, and Fernandes is too expensive.
12.5. Sorry, you're right. Yeah, so
It's just too much. It's too much because you can't really have Alexander Arnold, and if you do, you just got no one left. So I think if I wanted Kane, I probably would get Fernandes would go, because I think there are Manchester United options, and if I've got Kane and Salah, who else am I going to captain ever for years?
It is true. I mean, maybe there is a danger of kind of riding that. So Fernandes was just so good and so reliable as a a captaincy pick and for so long. It's just you get into you're kind of still in that previous season mindset. Like I say, if I'd been judging Fernandes based on the Euros, I'd be like, why am I paying 12 million for this guy? Like it was pretty poor.
We'll find out as well. I mean, I think we fancy Premier League is all about making sacrifices, making decisions and sacrifices each week. And for me, my sacrifice at the moment is if Kane moves to City, I'm probably not going to go there. And if I did, I can't go with Fernandes. And that's
you wouldn't go there if Kane was at City. You wouldn't go there.
If my sacrifice would be either I don't go there or I get rid of Fernandes. One of those. I can't have both.
I know Sam probably wouldn't go for out of principle. She'll be like, no.
Who? I mean,
Harry, what?
No, I would be. Yeah, I mean, and I think it depends where Fernandes plays. There's rumours are that Manchester United are going to change their formation. So instead of having this sort of double pivot, they're going to have like a single defensive midfielder and then two number 8s. So Fernandes would no longer be in a number 10 role.
Right.
So his open play goal potential, possibly even assist potential, might be lessened. So you'd be looking at penalties there. Meanwhile, the likes of Jadon Sancho, who would be, I would assume, $2 or 3 million cheaper.
Yeah.
Greenwood, Rashford, when he's back fit, is injured at the moment. And then you've got the likes of Cavani as well. So there are attacking options there for me to tap into Manchester United. And with Manchester City, I mean, people say, Mahrez, and you've got Gundogan and stuff. I don't know who's going to score the points. But if Harry Kane's on the pitch, I kind of think I do know who's going to score the points.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't. Yeah, I mean, I think if Kane came in, that would kill De Bruyne for a lot of people, I guess, as well, because like you'd have the same issue with trying to have De Bruyne and Kane in the same time would be very hard.
That is an issue. So if Kane goes there, perversely, I might want KDB more, because
you might want him more because he's got someone's going to put the ball away.
Someone's got to put the ball to him, and KDB to Kane. I mean, it's like who benefited at the beginning of last season? Those who had Kane and Son.
That's true. Yeah, it could be the whole Son.
Yeah.
If Kane went, I know this is very hypothetical. I think personally think he'll go. I thought it all season. I think all the noises that are coming out of Spurs are that there was an agreement. They didn't get the Champions League. I don't think Kane owes any more from a lawyer's perspective. No. But he's given it. He's never been one of the top best. Well, he's been well paid, but not. He's never been underpaid to what he is in this market. He stuck with them, and carried the team. I think he's. I don't think he has to feel he's got to stay there forever. And I think Levy seems to have realised that, he could either keep him there, but it's ever diminishing value because he's not going to sign a new contract, or he reaps the cash now. And I think that business decision has been done if the numbers add up. And I think City can make the numbers add up. So if he goes, and I think he will, what does that mean for Spurs? Obviously, it depends who they get in up front, but is Son destroyed then? Is Son just pointless? I mean, I don't know.
No, it makes it's possible. Son scored and got 2 assists in a 3-0 pre-season game this week for Spurs. So it would mean if he's up top, I might want Son, who's 10 million. How to get to him, and
sort of 10 million out of position midfielder playing as Spurs.
Another option is Son's is back on the wing, and they go for someone like Danny Ings. Now, Danny Ings would be a good fit, I would think, for him and the club, because it is a step up. And Danny Ings isn't City, United's, Liverpool level anymore, but he's definitely sort of Arsenal, Spurs sort of level.
Yeah, Ings is interesting. Yeah, good transfer playing there, Joe. Shall we get on the phone to Mr. Levy? So
I know. I'm sure that's all underway. I think he's quite good at negotiating.
I think he's thought about it. No, it's going to be fascinating. I mean, that's the thing right now. We're making these drafts. I'm not unhappy with this team. Apart from, it still feels I need to tinker, try and maybe improve on Pedro. But Pedro's a punt. Like you say, the problem with it is I've not really got anywhere to go with it either. It's not like if he is a cover player, but I haven't really got. There's not a lot around at 5.5, but then someone might emerge in the first few weeks, and you go, well, that's the bandwagon to get on.
Definitely, but no, it's interesting. It's good because all week we've had different teams, different strategies, and this is another different one, so that's great. Chris, thanks so much for joining me. Great to see your team. Good luck with game week 1. Good luck with the rest of your season.
Yep, thank you very much, Joe. Thanks for being here. I'm hoping, as I said, I didn't get to drop this in, so I am. I just outside the top 5k last year, so I'm hoping to go one better.
I completely neglected that.
I've only mentioned it about 1,000 times. So so no, but I had my best season ever, and a lot of that was from using more tools and watching more and reading more than I ever have, to be honest. And I think it's. For me, it's kind of worked. It's been useful to sanity check decisions and certainly kind of look at what the top 10k are doing and look at some of these differential options I hadn't probably considered. And so I'm hoping this is the year. I'm hoping to go there. So I can at least maintain 1k. I want to, if I can get top 5k or even top 10k this season, that'll be. It's just maintaining it because my record historically has not been great. So. I'll watch what Mark does. Is always
just copy Mark. Excellent.
All right, cheers, Joe.
Cheers. See you later then. Bye now.